I'm going to be reviewing the Stone HS720, which I've had since November of 2021. I got it for a bit less than it's showing on. This is the current of June 2022. I got it for about 204. The anti-shaking is not. Might be a little bit over advertised. I wouldn't fly inside, but you can fly. I have flown inside, but because of the limit, it really has limited space. It's very easy to crash into something. So even though it's got indoor, you can't really fly it around because it would be very easy to crash. Though it's pretty durable, I wouldn't recommend it. It's okay with the GPS switched off and that. It's got the 4K transmitters, G5 GPS. Follow me options I'll show in a little while. Point of view and the waypoint flying I'll show. And the GPS return to home I'll show. The drone is 459 grams. And I would say around 20 minutes with general flights before it actually flight time generally. Okay, next up's the showing the different things in the drone items. I have two drones here because the one on the left side, it had a problem with it drifting away in one of the fields. Wasn't in every field or place that I was flying in. For the most part it actually flew fine, but in one of the fields that I did most of my first flying attempts, and it's because it's also very close by, only about 15 minutes to walk there. It had a habit of drifting off or not connecting with or not hovering. It seemed to be a bit difficult to get it to stay in one place with the GPS on. So customer service, after sending some video off, they sent me the drone on the right side there. So it basically folds up and okay, just like that. Easy to carry around. Goes like that. The controller. So basically the aerial's like this. We want the aerial folding like this so that we can get, and the phone would go here, fits there, and the switch on and off like here. So let's leave that down for the moment. So now we're going to start off the drone. So full battery there, and where I turn on the control, the little arrow, 2 bars either side of the aerials, and if you had loss in signal they would go darker. Obviously when you switch drone off they go right off. And then you got the batteries and the controller sign, so it's showing a full battery in the controller on this side, and that's the level of the drone's batteries. And you should get around 20 minutes of good flight time. It should go to amber about 20 minutes or so, and then red for the last 2 or 3 minutes, but you have a limited flight range of 100 meters when it goes to amber, so you can't fly further and you can't go higher than 30 meters when it's amber as well. So let's talk about the functions here. Got the return to home, you got the return around the drone. So we're going to show the little nozzle here that will turn it. You can see it's actually showing. So if I have it here, I'll move this switch. That will move the down. That moves to the down position. That moves to the on position, up position. Note that you will see the blades when it's fully up. Alright, we're going to do the hover test here. It should hover quite comfortably indoors. So you press the arm button and then we press the button to rise up. Oh, I have to switch the, forgot to say that I have to GPS switch off here. So switch it off. There it goes. Because if you press with the GPS on it however many times, because it has a 0 GPS, it won't be able to take off. You need 7 satellites to take off. So let's turn the GPS off again. And now on. And there it's hovers quite comfortably indoors. Move it a little bit higher. Okay, I'm going to press the come down switch. There we go. So it can hover indoors, but I wouldn't recommend doing much flying. You're likely to hit some fingers space, and although it's actually quite durable, you don't want to risk damaging anything or hurting anyone inside. So I recommend don't fly indoors, but you can obviously hover with the GPS off. Obviously you can't use the GPS indoors because it's got 0 satellites and you wouldn't be able to do that. So just switch the GPS switch off and now it wouldn't be able to take off even if it's armed. Okay. So next is to show, normally if the drone needs calibrating, normally all you have to do is twist it around like this, like that, or you can do it, I don't think it matters which orientation, so long as you do 2 ways of it to calibrate it. It will only be necessary if it's calibrating, doing a calibration of the drone. The battery here, that will go like so, and then goes in here, and then you got the power. Folding up is easy. Go back, front ones go in. Fold it up like that. Then you just put it forward in the box, fits quite comfortably. The controller goes in there. You can put batteries there. This is just an empty box where the thing went in, and then the back box just goes like that, and then you're free to carry it around. It'll go in a rucksack quite easily, and it's quite secure. It gives quite good protection to the drone, so it's a good way. It's light to carry and easy to get around from place to place. So you have 2 starter guides here, the main booklet and the quick start, which is just basically the simplest, all the simple things when flying, follow me, and basically how to do all the functions. And they also recommend the app, the 4K app, which I'll run through shortly. I'm just going to show some of the apps. The app for the Holy Stone. The main one the first one I used was the 4K, and then the second one was the MRC Pro, which I tend to use more. It's more, I think, beginner friendly as well, to be honest. So let's connect up with the drone and show how it works. So we get some options with this. Show the Holy Stone thing is a little different here with one of the other apps I have. You get the cameras, you get the guide, tutorial, data information, flight records. If we go in, basically have the options on the top. Choice of 4K or 2.5K. Get the metrics. They're slightly different from the RC Pro that I've used. It's got 15 to 500 meters thing here. You can have it at beginners mode when you have it set up, just if good for beginners. Again, you can set the camera on, taking pictures, calibration option, video option there, takes you to the videos. Also, if you click here, you have to follow me for orbit, headless. I don't use headless. If we go back, RC Pro, this gives you a bit of more. Again, it's introduction more of beginners there. And this gives you all the list of functions. The main difference with the RC Pro is it also gives you the HS information speed, basically. If we click on carry on and then back to the screen, you get the same options: follow me, orbit there. You get the camera options, things, get the format and information transferred to the phone. Got the chain, it's slightly different here. Calibration and compess and flight logs info. Oh, it's very brief, the flight log, just to tell you, and then you get the map at the bottom where you are and such and such. So those are the apps that come with the Holy Stone. As this is a new drone, it actually comes with one of the new classification, the CAA's symbol here for where you can fly it in aerospace. This is a sort of weight relative to the weight of the drone. So this is a C1 categorization because it's 460 grams. So if you look up on the CA, it will explain that. I'll go through it in a bit. Websites. Okay, under the CA's drone and model aircraft code, you can find the information on that symbol. So basically you got all these up to class symbol 4, which I think is something like 20 kilograms. I'm not sure, I have to look up the weight there. So my drone is the class 1, which is it's about 415 kilograms, the drone is. So you can see here 0 is kind of toy with a camera, and obviously you need flyer ID or with an operator ID if you've got a camera. If your drone is a 0, mine is obviously I need both a flyer license and the operation license. You have to print that, put it on your drone, or you can send out you can get it from Amazon as well, a copy there's plenty of people who sell cards that you can get. So drone flyer ID and the printed code, which you can easily makes it easier to stick on your drone. So it's just the information of the categories. Okay, so this is a bit more information of what you can do with what that symbol allows you to do with your drone. So small drones, model aircraft below 250 grams, C0 or C1. The rules on minimising the distance between people is a difference when flying small drones and model aircraft below 250 grams or C0 or C1. So if your drone is lighter than 200 or C0, you can fly closer than 50 meters and you can fly over them. But I don't recommend flying over people with, even if your drone is below 250 grams. So if you're flying a drone or model aircraft between 250 grams or 500 grams, is a class 1, you can fly closer to people than 50 meters, but you must not fly intentionally over them. But I think try to avoid flying with a 250 gram anyway. It's just kind of better, sort of more sensible thing to do, really. Okay, we have a bit of a problem with the drones in some of the early days, and in this particular day when I was trying to fly, and I'm not sure exactly what the problem was. I had good satellite lock on my phone, a good satellite lock with the controller, but for some reason the drone that seems to be drifting off by itself, it just doesn't want to hover. As you can see, every time I try to move it, it seems to drift away or sideways, or just doesn't want to stay. And I can't seem to control it. And then it starts to drift almost into those people because I just didn't see them, or so entrenched in trying to control the drone. It's just quite problematic. So I thought maybe it was a compass or magnetic compass. So I tried doing the calibration for that. Where you just spin it and make circles till the reset the compass and hope that worked, which I'm doing here. And it crashes. Oh, it bounces as well, and went off a little bounce, then upside down. So that didn't work very well. And so I eventually tried several times. Eventually went with turning off my GPS on the switch on the side of my controller, and I've managed to figure out how to by doing that, how to stop myself from crashing. But the whole time I was doing this, I just couldn't get it to hover in one spot with the GPS switched on. So I contacted customer service, hoping that they could give some clarify. I did. They asked me to send some footage, and then they sent a replacement drone for me. But I did try the day after this in a different field, well, not far away, up in the hill, and it flew okay. It didn't seem to hovered, and I didn't have the problem I had on this particular day. And seems to be just this field that seems to be the problem, really. Primarily, I didn't have any real problems. The replacement drone seems to be working fine. So I switched, I think, the GPS off here so I can actually maintain control. Though it's a little bit switch on the GPS. Yeah, it's like starting to go in circles. Switch off the GPS and it goes into more as a hover. So it's performing better with the GPS switched off at this point. But next day I did try it and the GPS did seem to work. But for some reason it just didn't want to stay. I don't know if there's something I was... maybe the magnetic KP levels were very high at that day. I'm not sure. I didn't have any problem with my phone connection and that, but it's a mystery to me.